Tens of thousands of demonstrators marched through the streets of the biggest cities in Brazil to protest poor public services, police violence, and government corruption. What's going on, YouTube? My name is Lance, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the crazy situation that's going on over in Brazil. More than 100,000 people took to the streets in an overwhelmingly peaceful protest in at least 8 cities on Monday. Some of those cities include Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and the capital Brasilia, where some of the protesters marched their way onto the roof of the Congress building. The demonstrators were protesting the fact that they had to carry the extremely heavy burden of high taxes but poor public health, public education, public transportation, everything. Just like the situation in Turkey, the organizers used the different social media platforms to spread the words about the campaign and to block off streets and halt traffic. The marches began earlier this month with a small protest starting in Sao Paulo, when the people of that city became furious with the fact that the government increased the amount of money that they would have to pay for simple things like bus fare and subway fare. The demonstrations eventually grew out of control when some of the protesters started vandalizing things like buses and subways. The protest leaders decided to try to get a hold of the situation by telling some of the demonstrators that damaging public or private property is only going to damage their cause, which I totally agree with. Even the police said that they wanted to avoid violence, but told the protesters that they would use force if the protesters damaged any property. And we all know this wouldn't be any kind of news story without some kind of crazy conflict. Officers in Rio fired off tear gas and rubber bullets at protesters when they invaded the legislative offices and started attacking the police officers with rocks and bottles. In Sao Paulo, it was reported that more than 100 people were injured, including 15 journalists. In Belu, demonstrators put together barricades made out of tires and set them on fire to halt traffic and to protect them from the police. The latest update on the situation is that the government is trying to get all of this craziness under control. Which brings me to my video question of the day. If you were fed up with the way the government was treating you and there was a big protest going on, how would you express yourself during the protest? That's gonna do it for me today, guys. Don't forget to like, share, comment, most importantly, subscribe. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, the links are gonna be in the description box below. Again, my name is Lance, and I'll catch you guys on the next upload.